Tim and more. Kilted Prepper here. How's everybody doing? Tonight's show is going to be one that's kind of near and dear to my heart, and it's something that will help you even if you're not a prepper. I mean, it's a great way of saving money and then also, really stretching those dollars and getting the most for your food dollar. But it is also an excellent way to help start your preps going and get your pantry in order. So with everything that's going on out there, we're seeing higher prices. And in fact, the wallet is not keeping up with the prices. We've got inflation to deal with, rising costs of food. We are seeing food shelves. And how many out there are seeing your grocery store shelves not being as stocked as they used to be? So this is due to supply chain issues and production issues, and just everything is going on. It seems like we're kind of sitting in a perfect storm right now. And so we're starting to see kind of not a lack of food, but not as much of a variety as, say, 6, 8 last year, this time frame. So what is going on? And I mean, personally, I think that food prices are going to continue to go up. And in fact, I posted a video on my wall from the UN, and the UN food chief has just come right out.
We're facing a food pricing problem in 2022 that's creating havoc around the world. Well, if we don't get on top of this thing quickly, and I don't mean next year, I mean this year, you will have a food availability problem in 2023, and that's going to be hell on earth.
And so due to a lack of fertilizer and everything like that, there is, food shortages is going to be taking place. And now this is globally. I don't see total food shortages taking place here in the U.S., but what I do see is rising cost. And people who are on a very fixed income may start to suffer because of that. But the UN, the USDA, the Ag Department, and others are predicting that this next year is going to be kind of rough for a lot of people. And, words like food shortage is coming, being spoken about. And so I honestly believe that food prices will continue to rise. So I got this question for you. Would you rather buy food at a lower price, or would you rather buy food at a more expensive price? Now, odds are is that you would probably say that you would rather buy it at a lower price, which is a smart thing to do. Now, what you need to do is kind of start looking at food as an investment. Buy low, sell high. So in this fact here, we're going to be buying low. So what you want to do is start buying food now, because 2023 is being very speculative that it is going to be super rough. And again, the UN is coming out, the USDA is coming out, the Ag Department is coming out, a lot of farmer organizations are coming out. Crops are not going to be planted next year, primarily due to the rising cost of fertilizer and the lack of fertilizer, as well as the rising cost of fuel and everything. It's going to cost a boatload more for the farmers to do something to put into the ground, and whatever it is they're able to put in the ground also means that crops are going to be greatly reduced. So what that creates is the supply and demand issue. Supply and demand comes into play, and prices go up. Just like we just saw recently here in the housing market. I don't know if you were paying attention during the COVID time period and everything. House prices were just going through the roof. And so it was a good time to sell your home because you were going to make some decent change off of it. This is the same thing coming up here. Food prices are going to go up next year immensely. And so why not stock your pantry now? Why not start moving now so that, what you buy today is not going to affect you 2 months down the road. So, that bag of popcorn or something like that you bought for $1, in 2 months time, it may be at $3. So would you rather buy it cheaper or buy it more expensively? So what I want to do is cover with you 7 strategies on how you can really work at preparing your pantry while living on a budget. Now, a lot of these strategies, I have to say that we do ourselves. And in the long run, I have to be quite honest, in the last 4 weeks or so, my grocery bill has only been $100 or about $125. But it's because I've been slowly stocking our pantry up more and more and more that now our pantry is starting to pay off. And what we're doing now is slowly starting to get into the rotation mode. Are we fully there yet? No. But I continue to stock the pantry, continue to move it forward so that I am not needing to buy as much. And so I'm able to slowly pull from our pantry, thus reducing our grocery bill. And so that means that I'm able to also leverage that money that I've saved because I bought early and or bought at a lower price, and use that money saved to buy other items that I'm finding on sale and so forth, and using some of the other strategies that I am going to talk about tonight. But the first strategy that I want to talk to you about is what I call the $5 rule. And so the $5 rule is when you and your spouse come sit down at the kitchen table and drag out your checkbook, if anybody uses checks anymore, and or look at your budget and so forth. And what you want to do is come up with a realistic number of how much can you spend every time you go into the grocery store to stock up your pantry. And the reason I say the $5 rule is because $5 is a pretty good number to maybe start with. Now you can adjust that accordingly and everything, but what you want to do is every time you step into the grocery store, you will spend $5 on your pantry or preparedness food or whatever. But that is the key. It has become habit. And what is going to happen is over time you'll be amazed how much you have built your pantry up and just spending $5 every time. So if you go shopping once a week or so, then make sure you go buy $5. Now if you go shopping 3-4 times a week, which a lot of Americans do, make sure that you spend that $5. And so it doesn't matter what's happening in your life or whatever, you will spend that $5. Now, if some sort of disaster or something happens, yeah, adjust accordingly and reevaluate, of course. But what you want to do is make it a habit so that you are always buying food for your pantry. And this is why I'm saying come up with a very realistic number, not some dream team number. I'm going to spend $30 every time. No, you're not. And if you do, you're going to break that habit and everything. What you want to do is form a habit so that every time you go to the store, you will spend $5 on your pantry. This is why I'm saying make it a very realistic number. If it isn't 5, maybe it's 3. That's fine. $3, $5. Maybe you can, after spending $5, you start saying, hey, you know what? We can start doing $10 or whatever amount. But what you want to do is ensure that you always, always, always spend that money for your pantry. Because again, food is an investment. And what you're doing is you're investing in your food future, because no matter what you are buying today will go up in price, in a month or two, if not sooner. And that's the way the prices have been going. I mean, just read the news articles. Food prices are going up. It's getting ridiculous. So again, key is spend the $5 or whatever amount that you want every single time. Now, what you want to do too is work towards how many meals you got going here. So I'm going to have 7 days. So shoot for 7 days. I said, oh wow, now I get 7 days of food in my pantry. And that's 7 days of food to feed your family, breakfast, lunch, dinner, or whatever meals you guys eat. Next, you say, well, okay, I got 7 days covered. Now shoot for 2 weeks. And so set little realistic goals for yourself to slowly build up your pantry. And so 2 weeks, 1 month, 3 months, 180 days, 365 days, a whole year. What you're going to do is I now have, X amount of days of food in your pantry. Now, what you want to do is really shoot for 90 days. And so some people go, why 90 days? Well, it takes man 90 days on average to adapt to his new normal. And so let's say chaos is going on in the streets, or something's really going on, prices are going crazy. And remember when COVID and we had that toilet paper shortage? Look how many people were going stinking crazy over toilet paper. Now, can I say that we did? No. Why? We had storage toilet paper, so we were good to go. We weren't chasing the toilet paper or anything like half of the other people in the U.S. were doing. Guys are selling toilet paper out of the back of their trunk and everything like that. But imagine if food becomes that way. And so you do not want to get caught up in this chaos. And so by having at least 90 days worth of food on hand, you are going to be ahead of the curve. And this is what I like to call ahead of the curve. If here's all the masses going crazy over whatever, toilet paper, and you're up here, so you're here doing whatever it is you need to do for your family, you are always staying ahead of the crazy and chaos. And that's the goal, and this is one of the great things about being prepared, creating your pantry, and doing other things like that. You are staying ahead of the curve. And when you're ahead of the curve, you are able to think clearly, you're able to do what you need to do for your family, you'll be able to leverage resources a lot better instead of buying insanely high-priced food and fighting for it like remember those people fighting over freaking stinking toilet paper? Yeah, I mean, that's what things can look like with the food and everything. So, what you want to do is stay ahead of the curve. And by having 90 days at least on hand, you are going to at least be able to stay ahead of that. And then man is going to slowly adapt to his new normal. And that's historical. It's the way it is. I got a lot of posts here. People are commenting like crazy. So 90 days worth of food. Now, my next strategy is double what you eat. So you've done the $5 thing, and you say, okay, $5 thing isn't really working for me. So do what another strategy is: buy double or buy two of whatever. But for example, green beans. Now this comes in a 4-pack, and we eat a lot of green beans. So buy one for your everyday eating, and then buy another for your pantry. By buying double, you're going to see your pantry fill up rather quickly as well. So this is for your weekly eating, and then this is for your pantry. And then you just stick it in your pantry and it's sitting there. So buying double is a great strategy to leverage. And then what you can do is also leverage the $5 rule and buying double. So every time that if you bought this for regular meal, then what you can say, well, I'm going to buy another with my $5 rule amount and get another one for my pantry. So this is, again, you can put these two strategies together and leverage it, and you will be amazed at how fast you see your pantry grow. Now, next strategy. This is strategy number 3. Shop sales big time. Now, this is one that I leverage a lot. I do a lot. I'm always looking for sales. I'm always looking at what's there. And there's things, for example, recently I bought Italian dressing that was on sale. I found it at Kroger's, and it was something like $1.50 for a bottle. And I know that I like Italian dressing. Am I eating Italian dressing right now? No, I'm not, because I haven't been eating salads that much or anything. But I do know that I am going to eventually buy or want Italian dressing. So why not buy some of these items, stick them in your pantry, and just wait for the time that you want to have Italian dressing on your salad. We were at the grocery store today. Cynthia saw barbecue sauce. Again, it was like $1.50, and so we grabbed a couple more bottles of that, and we're sticking that in our pantry. So these are things that you can do, is buy on sale and really leverage that, even if it's stuff that you maybe not consume all the time. But this is a great way to do condiments, mayonnaise, ketchup, mustard, all those sort of things. Buy them on sale. Buy 2 or 3 bottles of it. It isn't going to go bad or anything like that. Disregard those best buy dates. That's just to make you buy more food and all that other junk. But buy, all your condiments. You'll see we're coming in, and this is my next point. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, but flour, salt, sugar, things like this is also going to be popping up on sale. Why? Because my next strategy is buy during the holidays. And right now is the best time of the year to buy food. Guess what holiday is coming up? Thanksgiving. And Thanksgiving, because it is surrounded, or the primary thing that you do on Thanksgiving is eat. Now, Thanksgiving food purchases are always better, and we're going to be always less expensive versus buying food at Christmas. Now, at least what I have noticed is that there's the better sales at Thanksgiving versus Christmas. Why? Everybody's out buying TVs and Barbie dolls and whatever else, for Christmas. And yeah, food is kind of a secondary thing. The presents are the first thing. Food is secondary. Where Thanksgiving, food is the primary, and then football comes later. But, those are Thanksgiving is the best time to really start buying food and getting ahead of the curve at this time. And again, for example, green beans, big thing at Thanksgiving. So these always go on sale really inexpensively. Why not consider maybe buying a case of green beans? And by buying a case of green beans, so for example, here's 4 cans. That is 4 meals for us as side dishes. And so that gives us four side dishes. A case is usually 24 cans. That gives you 24 meals of a guaranteed side dish. So start thinking like that, and start looking at how you can start using some of the things. Now, another thing too is stuffing. How many times do you eat stuffing during the year? Not very many people do. So why not take advantage of these great stuffing sales and buy, 24 boxes of stuffing so that you have it for the coming year. Maybe you want stuffing with your chicken or barbecued chicken during the summertime. You could go down to your pantry, boom, I now have a box of stuffing. So by buying these things and thinking kind of outside the box, outside of Thanksgiving, why not have stuffing more times a year? Why not have pumpkin pie more times of the year? Again, most people think, Thanksgiving and the holidays and everything. So why not stock up? Because also this time of the year is really good to buy the pumpkin pie filling. And, easy thing to do. It's going to be on sale like crazy. So take advantage of this. And why not have a pumpkin pie in April? Why not have a pumpkin pie for 4th of July? These are things that you can take advantage of now, and kind of maybe eat the foods that you would eat during Thanksgiving, but make it throughout the whole year. And so Thanksgiving is the best time to really start and stock up your pantry. Again, Christmas is very good too. Easter, again, very good. 4th of July, also very good. Memorial Day and Labor Day, a lot of these holidays, during the summer holidays, you're going to see more summer food, ham, chicken, hamburger, and everything. When these holidays come up, stock up and take advantage of the sales. But Thanksgiving has always been the best holiday to start your pantry and really stock up on food. I know HEB has sales where you buy the turkey and you get all these other foods for free. Or, you buy a 2-for-1. Other stores, 2-for-1. Buy a turkey, get a ham, or buy a ham, get a turkey, or buy a turkey and get another turkey. So why not buy some of these things, take advantage of it, and fill the freezer? Throw a couple extra hams in that freezer. Throw a couple extra turkeys in that freezer. I saw, Brian Womack say, smoked turkey. Yeah, I love smoked turkey. HEB smoked turkey. I need to find a smoked turkey place up here that I can, take advantage of. But, why not buy these things when they're really on super sale, and throw several others in the freezer? I know, when we buy a ham will feed us for a whole week. Same thing with a turkey. And in fact, one of these days, what I will do is teach you how to make Prepper smoked turkey bone soup, or survival turkey bone soup. And I actually use freeze-dried foods and everything, so that's one thing that I'll show you sometime in the future. Maybe after the holidays, it'd be a good time to show you that. So, fourth strategy was buying on the holidays. The fifth strategy is shop meals. And if your target is to go to 90 days, start counting how many days of meals do you have. Now, for example here, this is a bag of fettuccine. And this is a, how many ounce bag? This is a 1 pound bag of fettuccine. This is 2 meals for us. What I usually do is I'll cook up the noodles and then use half of it for the meal that we were going to eat. And I'll have some leftovers that next day, but then I put olive oil or something on the other half and store it in the refrigerator. And cooked noodles, when you put olive oil over it or some sort of oil or something, will keep your noodles fresh for up to, I believe, 5 to 7 days. Especially if you put it in a Ziploc bag and squeeze all the air out of it and everything. But this is 2 meals for us. So by buying 12 of these, I now have 24 dinners that I have purchased, or 24 meals that I have on hand. And so thinking in meals is also a great way to go. Again, we found this on sale, and this is the Kroger brand, but stroganoff, and I think they had cheeseburger, basically their, burger. What's these called, sweetie? Hamburger Helper. Yeah, this is Kroger's version of Hamburger Helper. But the sale was 10 for $10, so these are $1 a box. Guess what we did? We bought a lot of boxes of this. We have them now in our pantry, and so each one of these are a meal. We now have 10 meals of Hamburger Helper. So again, look for the sales and then buy a lot so that you can, start thinking in meals. And again, this is the same thing with green beans. Green beans, these are 4 meals worth of side dishes. Other things is, for example, we love these potato packs, and they come in all kinds of different flavors and everything. You can usually pick these up. Now, keep an eye out for these if you really like these. Thanksgiving's coming up and everything. These will probably go down to about $1 a pack for Thanksgiving. And when they are, because they're running at about $1.50, $1.75 right now. But when they hit $1, buy a bunch of them in different flavors and have them on hand. This is a meal right here. This will be a meal. Our daughter enjoys having dessert and everything. So again, I found these at Walmart for 75 cents each. Guess what I did? I bought a bunch of them in all the different flavors. 75 cents. This is a cute little dessert. Sarah loves her dessert, so easy peasy, packaged dessert. By having a number of these, I now have maybe 12 or 15 desserts on hand because they were inexpensive and I bought a bunch of them. So start thinking in meals that way so that you'll start, stocking up a lot, especially when they're on sale. So those are something else that you can do. Another thing, and this is strategy number 6, buy in bulk. This is a 50-pound bag of rice. And I saw it at Costco. They had it at Costco for, I think, $14.95 for a 50-pound bag. I could not pass that up. And if you've watched some of my other shows, I've talked about having a 5-gallon bucket with a gamma lid. Guess what I filled up? I filled up 2 buckets with this rice. And I just have a little bit left in the bottom because both my buckets, because I did have one bucket that already had some rice in it, but I now have 2 buckets of rice. That is a lot of meals that I can get. And for us, about 1.5 cups of rice is good for a meal if I want to make that the main staple of the meal. Whereas if we're just looking for a side dish or anything, about 3/4 cup is what we would normally use for a side dish of rice. But 50 pounds at $14.95 was an excellent purchase. And guess what? We don't have to buy rice again for who knows, because I got two 5-gallon buckets of rice now, plus a little bit of this left over. So again, buying in bulk will help you save in the long term. Finally, another thing, this is my last strategy number 7, and that is over here, cook in bulk. Now this is a pot that I want to thank Damien and Amy for getting us for that when we did the Louisiana rescue and helped with that and everything, helped build the barn and all that. They gave us, they were very wonderful, and they gave us this cast iron pot, and I love cooking it. I make soup in it a lot. But what I do is I always make a big pot of soup. And one, we feed off of it for a couple days, but also I then put it in my food saver vacuum bag, and I vacuum bag a bag of soup and stick it in the freezer. So by cooking in bulk, what you're doing is you're adding to your pantry. And things like soup and everything is relatively inexpensive to make anyways. So if you're going to make it, why not make a big pot of it and then, you know, using your food saver or freezer Ziploc bags or something like that, and freeze some for another day. It now is a meal. And so again, counting your meals and everything, working up to that 90-day or whatever goal it is that you have, these are great ways to also help, you know, get your pantry in order and get your pantry moving. So, whew, a lot of strategies here. What I'm going to do is actually, I wrote an article on this. I'm going to use all my notes and turn it into an article. So if there's some information here that you've kind of missed, or you missed part of the show, what I'm going to do is post it up and put it on RaymondMoore.com. And that way you'll have access to these food strategy bills. Now, here is the wonderful thing, and I talked about this early on in the show, is that because our pantry is doing well, we are slowly pulling from the pantry, rotating some of our stock and everything. And because we're pulling from the pantry, all we're having to do is just replace. And so our weekly grocery bill is not very much. On the last, like I said, the last 2-3 weeks, the grocery bill has only been about $125. You know, now granted, I am buying replacement for the pantry, but also I'm stocking up on fresh items like fresh veggies, milk, cheese, you know, some of these other items that, you know, are perishable and we aren't able to store. Now, I do buy milk in bulk. I always have a rotation of 3 gallons of milk going because we know that it's here. Here we are coming up on wintertime, and when it snows here in Roanoke or Salem, stores shut down and everything. Everybody's crazy about getting milk and bread. And so, you know, you're not going to find milk. It gets bought out rather quickly and everything. So what we've been doing is already getting the habit of at least having 2 to 3 gallons of milk on hand all the time. And I just always rotate and bring it in. Same thing with butter. Same thing with heavy whipping cream, because we use heavy whipping cream in our coffee. And some of the other more common staples that we need at the store, I just buy extras to have on hand so that we're slowly rotating. And so when I'm just replacing food from the pantry to continue to rotate that pantry, as well as our perishables, we've really seen our grocery bill kind of go down, because our pantry now is our grocery store. If we don't have it, then hey, we know that we now need to add it. And Alexa is our best friend here, and we always add things to Alexa's shopping list, so it always reminds us of what we need to get. So, which is another good tip: get an Alexa and start making shopping lists so that you remember what things you need to have. So, with all that said, I hope that this has really helped you. If you are watching this on my YouTube channel, do me a favor and subscribe to this channel. Give me a thumbs up and ring that little bell so that you'll be notified when I am posting a new video. I appreciate it very much. And again, I hope that this show has helped you, giving you some really good ideas and everything like that. And if you have any questions, do not hesitate to contact me. Best way to contact me is on Facebook via private messenger, or my email address, ray@raymondmoore.com, ray@raymondmoore.com. And so I'm here to help you folks. I really am. And so leverage me, leverage my knowledge, and let me help you, prepare for the future. So that's everything. My name's Raymond Moore. We'll see you. Goodbye. God bless. And kilt on.